Did altcoin season really just begin after today's major announcement? Well, if you look at this ETH Bitcoin chart, the answer is yes. And now I expect to see significant growth across altcoin prices over the next 30 days or so. What happens after 30 days? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video. And after what we've seen happen in the news over the past 24 hours, it's going to give us a good indicator about what we should be doing after that 30-day point. So if you want to understand exactly what's going to be happening with the alts over the next few weeks ahead and why, as well as what we should be doing towards the end of this year, do me a favor, hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we dive across and look at this ETH chart and understand what it really means for us, because it's pretty damn exciting in my opinion, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you do so at your own risk, and you should understand that you can lose money. So don't use money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. Now that we got that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Now guys, before we dive in and understand what's going on the ETH Bitcoin chart and across the markets, let's just understand where we're at and what we've been talking about over the past few weeks. Bitcoin, as you can see, is just continuing to follow along the M2 money supply. And yes, we had this little dip here, but now we're starting to correct back towards the upside. As you can see, this continues all the way higher until around the 22nd of September. And up and around there is a significant event that I think may see a sell-off happen for Bitcoin and potentially the altcoin market as well. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But before we do, let's understand a little bit more about what's happened today. Now, I appreciate over the past few days I haven't made that many YouTube videos because I've been traveling. But if you've been following me over on Twitter, which is Peter_THOC, make sure it's got the blue check mark, then you'll understand that I've been keeping a close eye on what's been going on, and I've been updating my followers as it happens. I even posted this chart earlier on today saying that Bitcoin was going into a liquidity zone and we were expecting to move out of it. Now, why did I think that that was going to happen despite the fact that the entire crypto market was flipping bearish, saying that we wouldn't get an interest rate cut? Well, I said the market had priced in bad news already from Jerome Powell. I said the damage had already been done by the speculation. And you know what that means. The good moves are coming. Bitcoin is arriving in the liquidity zone. Ethereum and the alts are holding up relatively well despite a weaker Bitcoin and this overall looking good. Now, I'm not telling you about this to try and pat myself on the back. All I'm doing is trying to get you to understand that the news is used as a tool in these markets to get you to do the wrong thing. Over the past kind of couple of months or so, we've gone from no rate cuts to suddenly looking like we were going to have a rate cut. And then all of a sudden, this rumor started over the past week or so saying that rate cuts were never going to happen. Because of this, we saw the Bitcoin price coming down from around $124,000 all the way to $112,000 in just a few days. Now, this rumor basically made people start to sell off the market. It made people anticipate that there was going to be a significant dip. And as soon as everyone starts to speculate on a massive dip coming, the answer is always to move in the opposite direction of what everyone is calling for. Now, since everyone was already priced in, I didn't expect that we were going to go much lower around there, and I anticipated the break from the liquidity zone that you can see here, which is basically what we can see has happened. Now, this has worked out quite perfectly. I didn't necessarily think it would work out quite as nicely as this, but it's all pretty damn good. But what's most exciting here isn't the Bitcoin price at all, okay? Who cares about the Bitcoin price? The Bitcoin bull market or the Bitcoin outperforming the altcoins bull market is over, okay? Bitcoin will continue higher. I'm not saying that it won't. What I'm saying is it's not going to perform as well as the altcoins from now on, okay? Because the Bitcoin dominance is falling. And there's a major reason as to why that is. Today, we suddenly had Jerome Powell continue on from the narrative of like last week or the week before everyone started to speculate on some rumor that seemingly came out of nowhere. Basically, Jerome Powell confirmed pretty much that there's going to be rate cuts, or there is at least room for rate cuts in September. Now, why are rate cuts so bullish for crypto or altcoins rather than just Bitcoin? Bitcoin obviously benefits from this as well because it's a risk asset, but over the past 3 years or so, Bitcoin has been operating kind of like a gold 2.0. It's been kind of rallying up as liquidity drains out of the reverse repo market that I showed you the other day, basically the overnight bank for the Fed, where they can kind of store funds when they feel like the market's pretty risky. As you can see, that topped out around the 3rd of January 2023, and around then, pretty much to the day, Bitcoin started its bull market. Starting around 16,800, it then surges towards the upside. However, altcoins are not quite the same as Bitcoin. They don't operate like the digital gold. They are the risk assets in the market. And risk assets don't start to run until global macro conditions lean towards risk on. Now, we've been in risk off because we've had high interest rates and we've had quantitative tightening, etc. Now that we're getting interest rates potentially coming down, we're starting to price in that risk on environment emerging. And that means one thing: altcoins will play catch up in a very big way to Bitcoin. Why? Because there are still billions of dollars every single week coming into crypto. This here is the USDT market cap. Perhaps if I put it on a weekly chart, you might be able to see it a bit clearer. And look, since April, we've added another $25 billion into USDT. Now, eventually, you're going to start to see this kind of going sideways as a lot of money then starts to go towards more of the risk assets. Okay, during this kind of like lull period, you can see a lot of growth happens here. That's because those assets aren't really going into risk assets. Now we're going to see a lot of money entering into crypto. Not only that, but if we look across to the M2 money supply, something everyone's been worried about is this pullback that starts around the 22nd of September. But as you can see, after today's announcement, all of a sudden this starts to pop up. And we will continue to now see this rise up and up and up. Why? Because interest rates lowering in the US give freedom to other countries around the world to start printing money. M2 money supply goes up. Bitcoin inevitably just continues to follow M2. Okay, you can see this, right? You can see we have these little peaks and troughs. It does catch people off guard because everyone's kind of overexposed to altcoins, but you can see this rallies very strongly into and around September. Now, why is September so crucial and what did we learn today? Probably, if you've been paying attention today, you would have learned that the news is being used against you, okay? If you are speculating on how the news is going to affect you and what Donald Trump's going to say and what Jerome Powell's going to say, you're probably getting it wrong, okay? And here's the reason. The news is used by market makers to move the market. The market makers have already decided where the market's going to go, and when that news event comes out, they move the needle in one direction or the other. So by understanding that liquidity is basically driving these markets and understanding that M2 is what you should be following rather than what Jerome Powell might say on a Friday, then it makes it very much easier to ignore the noise and what everyone's talking about. I even posted this just a couple of days ago saying that crypto was sat at support. Everyone was speculating on what would happen in the Fed speech. I said crypto would bounce. There, I said it. I said crypto would bounce. I said I don't even know what the speech is about. It doesn't matter. Liquidity is increasing. That's all you need to know, okay? This is because the media is used to get you on the wrong side of the trade. I keep saying it, and yet people still have these conversations. I know it's not helped by the fact that other YouTubers and everyone having these kind of major videos about how important the FOMC meetings are and whatever else. They are and they're not, okay? Obviously, interest rates do play a part on the markets, but getting stuck on the wrong side of the trade happens pretty much every time if you are waiting for some major news event to happen in one direction. Ultimately, if something sounds like it's going to be really bullish, like when Donald Trump, the pro-crypto president, was suddenly going to be coming into office and suddenly signing some executive order on Bitcoin, only to see the Bitcoin price go from $109,000 all the way down to $74,000, then you've maybe started to figure this out. Now, understanding this gives us a very good clue about what happens in September. September, we already see this M2 dip, okay? What's going to be the narrative that causes that, I wonder? Well, we're going to see everyone pumped up and excited about the interest rate cuts, which I believe happen on 17th or 18th of September. Guess what I think happens? Okay? I'm not expecting that I know exactly, but I think this happens. I think we see good growth over the summer, and then all of a sudden, we're supposed to have an interest rate cut. That interest rate cut comes in, and then we get to sell the news event because everyone's already anticipating that the rate cut's going to happen. The rate cut happens, and then the market just dumps on everyone, okay? I think that we then get maybe a couple of weeks sort of sideways action, maybe a month, okay? And then we see continuation towards the upside. Now, do I think that we get a brutal sell-off like we've seen before? I don't really know, okay? But personally, I'm going to be looking to lock in some profits, probably in and around September. Now, I will only be locking in profits if the entire altcoin market has been going crazy up until then. And if I look across to Ethereum right now, I think it's giving us the clue about where the market is heading and why altcoins are going into expansion phase. Because actually, it's not Ethereum, it's the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, okay? As you can see, this has just reached a very key level. Now I'm going to turn off the M2 thing, okay? I want you to look at where we are exactly right now on the ETH Bitcoin chart and what this meant for us last time. Now you can see that we are running into an area of resistance here. Now, will we expect to break through straight away or not? I'm not really sure, but I do think that this is a very, very key moment for us because we're here. Okay, this is a very, very key moment because if you go back to around the 12th of April, back in the last bull market, this is the major first bull market phase where Ethereum rips against Bitcoin. So between around the 12th of April 2021 and the 10th of May 2021, we see this happen to Ethereum. Okay, it goes from $2,000, it goes all the way up to $4,600. So from 12th of April, it does this, which is a 127% move. So from around the 12th of April until like May time, it doesn't do anything. If anything, it actually kind of dips a bit. It just kind of chops around. It doesn't do anything. Ethereum expands like crazy in that time. Solana began to expand like crazy in that time. A lot of other altcoins really expanded during that phase as well. Okay, I believe that we are in this phase right now. Am I expecting to see Bitcoin higher? Yes, but I really don't kind of buy into these mad price expectations for Bitcoin anymore. I do think that Bitcoin pushes to maybe 140 to 150k. Maybe it goes bigger, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but the real excitement, the real growth is going to be across Ethereum and the kind of wider altcoin market. We've obviously already seen a lot of Ethereum growth more recently. Now, again, you've got Ethereum now threatening to break all-time highs. Eventually, you're going to see it break all-time highs. That's going to give the green light to kind of phase 3, phase 4 of the path to altcoin season, which I keep showing you every single video, and then everything's going to look pretty good. Okay, Solana lagging behind as well, and some of the other larger caps still a little bit kind of reluctant to get pushing. And this is absolutely normal. Now, the good thing about this is you can see from Bitcoin and Ethereum that you've got the green light that the markets are in expansion, right? You can already see this, and this allows you to be nice and cool and calm right now to be looking at different projects that maybe you're holding. Now, if you're holding projects and you're like, well, why am I holding Aether or WorldCoin or whatever it might be, and it's not really moving yet? Go back to the path to altcoin season and realize that Aether, WorldCoin, and all the others are not phase 2. That's Ethereum. Okay, we're seeing Ethereum in phase 2. Go down the list a bit, look at the large caps, and then underneath it, and you will start to understand why it makes sense to be positioned into altcoins while they've been a bit flat. Yes, they've been very flat, and some have come down a lot, which has obviously been painful. Okay, I understand, because I've been doing the same as you. I've been buying into different altcoins, but I do anticipate that we are going into growth phase from here. The market has been held back by risk-off conditions. Today pretty much gives you the green light that the market's going risk-on. Now, we can't just go all the way up in a straight line. We do need to have a mid-cycle cool down, and I do think that that happens somewhere in and around September. Now, I don't know for certain that day or whatever happens, but I will keep a very close eye on sentiment and understand what the market's doing around then to give you what I think will probably be a fairly accurate call on where we're heading. So make sure you're subscribed to the House of Crypto. As of like this weekend, I'm going to travel again, but then I'm going to be in the same place for a while. I'm going to be giving you a lot more videos. I've been a little bit flat, a little bit lazy over the past couple of weeks on that. Now guys, if you've been confused over the past few months in crypto, you're not really sure which way to turn, you don't know which altcoins are the ones to be holding, you don't have anyone who can kind of provide you with solid answers to the questions and things you've got, then I highly recommend that you go and join the Moon House, link down below in the description. Over there, myself and 3 other full-time crypto experts spend time answering questions, delivering our alpha on different coins and things that we're buying, understanding the news and breaking it down for you so that you can understand in simple terms exactly what it means. Every single week, we also have a live call, one of which I'm hosting tomorrow morning. Those usually last for an hour to an hour and a half. I talk about different coins that I'm personally buying into. I then go and answer a lot of different questions and basically help people navigate their way through this crazy crypto market. If you want to go and learn more about it, then go down below to the description. It's called the Moon House. This is pretty much the VIP group that we have on offer. If you want to just join a Hivemind group where you can talk to other crypto enthusiasts, I'm also in there now and then as well, then I recommend joining the Inner Circle. Both of these 2 groups together give you community and access to the full alpha. But full alpha, if you want to join that Zoom call, which is tomorrow morning Europe time, then make sure you sign up for the Moon House, link down below in the description. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I wasn't going to make one, but the markets were pumping. Couldn't help myself. Just hit the like button for me. Do me a favor if you've enjoyed the content today or over the last few months, just leave a comment down below. It really helps me get this content out to more people and makes everything I do worthwhile. Hope you have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.